people? It's Keishan Prince. Today we're going to talk about the modern day attacking midfielder. Let's go. So as you know, we've been looking at different positions, from the strikers to the wingers. If you have not looked at those videos, and if those videos are for you, then obviously you can go and check them on my previous videos I've done on the account. But today we're going to talk about the 10 and why it's important that you must understand what to do when you're in position and out of position. So before we get any further, make sure you like, subscribe and follow, and as we push more content on YouTube and other social media platforms. So let's go. So there's people like Muller, Bruno Fernandes, KDB, Odegaard, in the time past, Diego Maradona. There's Dennis Bergkamp, Kaká, Silva, Özil. There's been Zinedine Zidane. There's so much tens there's been in today's game, and the overall main function of an attacking midfielder is to basically operate between the centre mid and the strikers, so in between the lines. And so the problem is that I see a lot of people, when they play the position, they receive the ball as a 10 with a back towards the goal. So basically you're playing like a false 9. And if you play that way as a 10, then you A, have not checked your shoulders, and B, that you don't know how to position yourself to get the ball on the back foot in order for you to play forward. There's times when you got to balance and check, but when you see how Odegaard and how KDB plays, the way that they receive the ball, they're always making sure that they're facing the game. So that's number one. And number two as well, in possession, you're supposed to connect the team together from defense to midfielders to strikers. So you've got to be the connector. There's a lot of people that play 10, but it really is it's just a chance for them to be lazy. You can't beat that. In a good team, who in, for example, Spain, when you go to Spain, those sort of guys who play 10 are usually the most techiest players on the pitch and the most smartest players on the pitch, to be fair, alongside with the holding midfielder. The next is also, you would make sure you create wide overload. So you see players like Odegaard, for example, and KDB like to pick up the ball on the wingers areas, and it's strange because a lot of players say, why do they do that? And it's because of the space and overload. If they can create an overload and create space and draw you out, because remember, a 10 really is someone who they're great at causing the opposition to be so focused on them, and they forget about the wingers, forget about the strikers. So this is why, like, we see Arsenal play against Chelsea yesterday, how much time did we see Martinelli free on that left hand side? Because Odegaard usually takes up the wide position on the right hand side near Bukayo Saka. That's for example. Next, also, we're looking at advantages of possession when you're in possession, is that you can help players or your strikers or your teammates to press up higher. So you see Odegaard, sometimes he will initiate the press, or he will tell where Jesus or Bukayo to press in order for him to be able to cover the space. And also for attacking midfielders, you usually want to press the fullbacks, and there's a reason why, and I'll explain that in another video about pressing, who to press in different positions against different formations that you're playing against. The weakness of a 10, I'll be honest with you, is that a lot of 10s don't like to get involved in defensive work, and so you've got to be that sort of 10 that likes to get dirty and that can do the both. That's what we loved about Santiago Zola at Arsenal, is that he was able as a 10 to get involved in everything. You know, there's a clip of him, you know, when he was at City, when he got involved with the tackling and he tried to dribble out in space. That people love that, and most 10s today, and that's why people got onto Özil, because he doesn't offer anything other than attacking prowess. And in the Premier League today, you've got to be able to offer more and then going forward. Next thing as well is that if a 10, if you yourself get blocked out of the game, then usually the team's attacking structure or threat is easily threatened and weakened very quickly. So that's things that you need to pay attention. If you get out of the game, then if you're not getting the ball, then you need to rotate, get the 4 to be a pivot, and then you can get into the space and just keep rotating. You know, this is why Arsenal are winning a lot of games, because Odegaard and Granit Xhaka are swapping a lot of times. You know, between those two, and it allows that to happen because Shevchenko drops inside with Thomas Partey. So let's look at the technical attributes. So technically, you need to have, number one, dribbling. If you can't dribble in tight spaces, and I'm talking about 1, 2, 3 and then pass, then you're going to struggle as a 10, because you're going to be in positions where you're going to have to, you know, have some individual quality about yourself. You know, next one, touches. You need to be able to have a good first touch into space, like Zidane spoke about in the previous video about directional control. You need to be a master of directional control, not the static one, directional control. Again, the video for that is in the bio. The next one is a great passing ability to play high passes, through balls, different types of passes outside of the boot. You need to have different passing ability and a good success rate as well. And ball retention. This is a key one because most 10s that I'm playing in the game right now have superb ball retention, because you've got to be able to receive the ball under pressure and retain the ball. If you're not a player that can have, you know, good ball retention with 2 or 3 men up your back, then that position is going to be a real big problem for you when you go up the level, because people know if you could just put a little pressure on you, you'll fumble under pressure. Another thing as well, you need to have good combination as well, passing and movement. In terms of psychology wise, in terms of your brain, you need to have a high IQ. You need to be able to work out, like Messi can work out at teams. Let's deep this. As Pep says, when you see Messi walking around, he's able to break down the team within 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. He can work out where the space is. And you, as an attacking midfielder or any type of midfielder, if you can't work out a team's weakness within the first 15-20 minutes, because Messi is a different breed, then that's a sign that your IQ is low and you're just playing the game. Next one, you have good movement off the ball. You need to do that because you need to be able to get on the ball, so you need to be able to check in, check out, and also be good under pressure. Next one, physically, you need to have superb balance. You don't need to be huge and big. You don't have to be like some muscle man. You just need to have good balance, and you need to have good agility to turn at speed, okay? Because you need to be able to turn at speed and then pass, and you need to have good dribbling speed, so acceleration. You need to be able to dribble at speed. Like Kaká, what made him so dangerous is that he was faster with the ball than it was without it. So let me know what you think about this. If you're going to wrap it up in terms of the greatest 10 of all time, you have to go with Diego Maradona, arguably the greatest number 10 we've seen in the game of football today. But let me know what you think about this, or if there's any other player that you feel that can rival Diego in this position. Let's go.